What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Surviving Bedrock. Now, in the last episode, we done our XP farm and we done the slime farm. As you can probably tell, I've got fully enchanted pickaxes now. I've got a Fortune 3 one, I've got a good Silk Touch one, I've got our working pick, and then I obviously went and used our Silk Touch to get some glowstone, as you just saw in my inventory. And if we go into our goodies chest, I did open up all of them diamond ores that we saved, and I managed to get quite a few diamonds out of that. I moved some lapis and stuff. I've not done much with the actual spawner place at the moment, but just over here I've sort of started work on doing the sort of water feature. We're going to have a couple more water fountains, and then hopefully when we find a swamp, put some lily pads. I'm going to put some greenery and shrubs over there. Now, in our last episode, I figured out, and I don't know if you all knew this because I'm pretty new to the Bedrock edition, but like you saw that I found out that we can move hoppers using pistons, and that led me on quite a long road in my redstone test build, seeing how I could utilize that. And I've actually managed to, I don't know if it's been done before on the Bedrock or not, or if this design is out there already or not, but a fully automatic sorting system for our storage area using the hoppers, and it is extremely simple, and the way it works is very simple, that I would be surprised that if it's not been done before. Now, the principle is the same as Tango Text one, is in you use the chests themselves to sort the items. So obviously you'll have to have the chest, every single spot in the chest filled with where you want the items to go. Just like I have with this chest is how I usually do my sorting, not my sorting, my storage areas. I usually separate all the items so that way I can just open the chest, spam Y on the blocks, and they'll just go into their places. But that is the principle behind it, and what it is just using a rotating hopper system. So I've cleared out a little area for us to actually get started on this, and I've chosen to have our new storage area down here, and that's because it actually branches off into like a massive cave system, which would save me a lot of sort of clearing out for new and later projects that we want to get done. I did initially have a completely different project plan for this episode, by the way, and having figured out that you can move the hoppers using pistons, which you can't do in the console edition, sort of led me down a bit of a rabbit hole in my redstone test world, which is how comes this video is a little bit delayed. And I don't know why I'm just venturing off. We actually want to not get lost. Hop over here. It's going to bug me if I don't grab this iron. There we go. Every iron counts, and look, there's some more in the floor there. So all of this area is sort of going to be done up aesthetically after I've actually done and fitted the storage system. Now, where do we want it? We don't want it backing onto that, but we want it to leave enough room to actually have, because what I want to do is actually build the initial sorting system with our input chest, and then be able to then move the input chest to then implement some sort of deep storage for stuff like cobblestone and just stuff that we're going to get absolutely tons of, because at the moment I've got about 3 or 4 double chests of cobblestone already in this world. But without further ado, let's get cracking on this project. Now, I've got a bunch of chests. We only can go 10 wide on it before having to sort of make it a little bit more complicated. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, are we too far into the hallway here? Yeah, I don't want to go that far. Let's hop back over here. What's that? 7? Yeah, it's 7. That's 8, 9, 10. Lovely. And then I've actually gone ahead and got ourselves some glowstone, just so that it's nice and bright and lit up. And obviously I've tried it, you can't use jack-o'-lanterns on top of chests because they just won't open. But you can use glass and glowstone and the chest will still open, and you can put item frames on glass, so it will shine through and it will make it look all nice and bright, and we don't have to worry about mob spawns. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to make that jump there, but happy days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 9, and a 10. And then we want to do the same here. It's a little bit like a tutorial really, this, isn't it? I've sort of done a mock-up version of it in my redstone test world, so the redstone behind it may slightly differ from what I've already done in my redstone test world. And like so, I still need to get the item frames, and obviously before this thing's fully functional, I am going to actually have to sort of fill in all of the items before sort of making it work. I need to clear out a bit more room for the redstone. But thankfully we've got our enchanted pickaxes now, which makes it so much easier. The amount of iron picks I was going through, trying to just do simple little tasks, especially when you're building a man cave, considering that 90% of the work you have to do is just clearing out areas. Okay. Just to get a little bit of like moving room so we can work back here. Clear all of that junk out. Now we're going to want it a little bit clearer over this side. Now if you don't know what I mean by doing the rotation system with the hoppers, is that what we're going to be doing is we're going to have one hopper on every single chest, all facing inwards, like so, and then we're going to want one hopper facing there, and then is this still may be a little bit too close, I'm not too, yeah, I really don't want it because the redstone's going to be coming out a little bit as well, so let us just quickly break this stuff here. Okay, with the magic of editing, you didn't have to see me fumble around with that. I've managed to move it over a couple more blocks, so then it gives us a little bit more leeway with the redstone with our corridor, because obviously I want this bit cleared out. Now the setup that we've got behind here is we've just got a line of hoppers going into each row of chests, and then we've got one hopper either end. And then what we're also going to want to do is have one hopper extra. Now that hopper is going to be our mover hopper. So it's a little bit hard to explain. So what we will actually want is a chest feeding into these guys. So we're going to need a little bit more working room here, please. Thank you. So let's say we want our... Really? Not even going to let me jump. Get out of the way. Let's grab some more chests. And crouch. Come on, there we go. So that's going to be our feeding in line. So that's going to be where all of our main items go, like to basically feed it into our storage system. And then we can run this going over this way, because obviously we're not going to want it going up that high. And we're just going to leave that there for now, before, just so that we've got an idea of what's going where. And then under this hopper just here, we're going to want some pistons on the ready. And then what else do we want on the go? Definitely want some building blocks, but we want some redstone building blocks. So by redstone building blocks I mean blocks that I build my redstone on. And it's always going to be stone bricks with me because it's just quite easy to see. Well, not really easy to see, but it sort of differentiates between all the other blocks that are dotted about. So a piston, one there. That will then push this line of hoppers up by one, which means we then want another piston. Let's get some random blocks on us, please. We want it to go just about here. That is excellent. So then what will happen is that will push that up. This will then push it along, which means we then want one piston facing, oh, not down there, it'll be down from there. And then that will push that down, and then we're going to want one piston over here, which will then push it along. And then what will happen is that it will just create a circle loop of the hoppers. And that is how simply this item words item storage sorter works is that these hoppers will gradually pick up items from the main input chest, and then as long as you've got every single spot within the actual storage system filled, the hoppers will attempt to put the items into each chest, and obviously the items that it has got will only go into the chest that has allocated spots for it. But now I'm actually going to have to figure out the redstone of it again, because it took me quite a long time to figure out the circuitry. It's not too complicated, it's just a number of different, depends which way you want it rotating. We want our main input over here, which means we probably want our on-off switch for it, because it is going to be loud. It's not the most silent thing in the world. Probably going to want our on-off switch around about here somewhere. Yeah, we could probably run the redstone up above in the ceiling as well anyway, for our on-off switch, which isn't too much of an issue right now. Right now I think we just want to get the actual circuitry done. So that will push down like so. Okay, you're going to have to give me 2 secs to try to figure out which way I want this going, because I don't know if I want it going clockwise or anti-clockwise. Alright then guys, now it's about 5 minutes after that last little clip. I'm not sure how much of the last little clip I'm going to be showing, purely because it went on for quite a bit from me getting muddled around with the redstone. Now what's confused me is that the initial concept of it that I've built in my redstone test world, I done going clockwise, so it was rotating around in that direction, and I done all the pistons orientated going anti-clockwise. So I was getting a little bit confused on which bit went on which end, but as you can see, the basic concept of it is now working. And what you'll see is a signal pulse come all the way around. It will then run along these delayed repeaters. Oh my god, words. These delayed repeaters, which will then send the signal up to this one. It will then go up this little redstone torch, well not torch tower, but redstone little ladder thing going up this way, up to a bunch more repeaters, which will then run back along over to the sticky piston, which will then kick down this redstone block, reinitiating the whole sequence again. And then what will happen is that will push down, this one will push it going along, and then that one will push it up, this one will then push the next one going along. So these hoppers are doing a constant rotation. So that's the first main bit of our sorting system all done and dusted. That is the main principle behind this one. Now we just have to try to figure out how to turn this on and off, which is a lot more difficult than you think, because you can't just use a lever by itself, because obviously you need a pulse signal doing a circle around it, and if you use just a lever you're going to be sending just a constant signal or a constant no signal basically. Like there's either going to be a positive or a negative with a lever, and when you use a button, I've activated this using a button, there's no way of turning it off. Like even if I was to press the button again, it would more than likely just mess up the whole thing. So do that, let's just wait, let's kick it off again, and then now I think you'll probably have 2 pulses going around. Yeah, so it's doing 2 loops, but it's going a little bit quicker, it's not messed it up. But for the time being, we should just be able to break the loop. If we just break that bit of redstone there, the second signal won't come along. And that's it. So what we're going to have to do is actually remove a part of it using a lever. It's going to be a 2 control switch system to turn it off and on. So what we want to do is, our button's going to be over this way. So let me see. We get, so this is going to be our control block basically. This is the one that we're going to want to either move out of the way or send a signal through, like the pulse signal. And to move it out of the way, we're going to have a sticky piston. So that can pull it, and then when that pulls it, that will stop the signal from doing the loops around, which will actually turn off the whole thing. And then we're also going to want to have a way of sending a pulse to the actual thing, which could be done pretty simply just by sending a redstone signal to this redstone dust here, I do believe. Sorta, kinda hoping. But we've got to do it in a way that it doesn't activate that one there. So if we just bring it off over here. Now we've got 2 blocks dead center, because this is going to be a lever and a button system to activate it and turn it off should we want to turn it off, because it is quite loud after a while. So we've got our 2 blocks there sitting directly above our storage, and then we just want to go and run one line, say like that. It's getting very, very cramped in here again. Clear a little bit more room, please. Thank you. Oh, not you. Let's grab some stone. Have something to eat. Now, you know what would actually make this a whole lot simpler is if I separate these just by 1 each. Aesthetically, it doesn't make too much of a difference. They're just not going to be bang right next to each other, which makes it a little bit easier to separate the signals. So I'll have one going over here. Say U to U. So that can be our pulse input. Now, to ensure that this doesn't receive a signal going back and forth, because it's sitting on, it's actually not sitting on hoppers, but we don't want a signal running back up this line for any reason. So we're just going to run a repeater to send the signal to there, and then our other signal is going to be running just above here, and we're going to have to tie this into our aesthetics, and I've fallen down. Hop back up there. Oh, come on, really? Thank you. A little bit more building room maybe, please. That'd be nice. So this will be our lever, and I think just some redstone dust should be fine for that. So that'll be like that and that, and then we want to actually get another button. Now we've got buttons here. Let's get a button. Have we got the makings for a lever? I don't think we have. And there we go. So I've forgotten which one was which. This one's our lever, isn't it? Okay, so that piston's now extended. So when it pulls it back, it should break the signal. So that is going to be our on position. And then when we place our button just over here, if we turn that on, that should then start sending a pulse round, hopefully. Unless I've wired it up wrong. Oh, come on. I have got feather falling on my boots. I just throw some junky enchantments on my iron armor. There's no point. Oh, really? How many times am I going to do that before I realise I'm going to have to clear a couple of blocks above? There we go. Thank you. Okay, send this signal round. We want... is that going to work, or is that... I think that should work. It's a little bit of a mess, but... Oh, no, because this one isn't then receiving a signal, is it? We do that. And then stop a signal coming back. Say do that. And before we get any mobs or anything spawning up and about in our redstone, just light it up a bit. Yeah, this is usually how my redstone contractions end up. It's just like a mess of wires going everywhere. Oh, that is probably where I made the mistake. I don't think I actually had anything wrong whatsoever here. It's just that I didn't have a bit of redstone dust there. What a muppet. So hopefully it should all work now. And then that should all carry on kicking. Yep, that looks like it's all rotating fine. And then should we wish to actually stop it, we should just be able to flick the lever. That'll pull that block back. And then the final cycle should finish. Because it's no longer getting the signal back through that block. And, yep. And just to double confirm it, just for my own peace of mind, push that back, reactivate it with the pulse. And happy days. So yeah, that is pretty much the storage system. But what we really want to now do is have our input chest be more convenient place, because otherwise we're going to have it like all the way up there, which is yeah, it just ain't gonna happen. We're going to need it a little bit better off. Can we drag these over anymore? Dragging about there. Is that going to be too close? I think that should be fine. Now we should have the makings of some stuff and things on us. Got some droppers. Obviously we're going to have to break that one now. Thank you. Let's go 1, 2, 3. And then get our hoppers back. Like so. Say hopper. Yeah, we want it sitting back about there. Do we want 2 hoppers? I think 1 should be fine. It stops it from feeding into the actual dropper too quickly. And then this can be our input chest. Have we got any chests? Big hole in the floor. You know what? Before I fall in this, I'm just going to fill it back up. Oh wow, just misplacing blocks all over the gaff. Okay. Chests, chests, chests. So this is going to be our input chest, and it's a nice convenient height. We're obviously going to be putting a facade around all of this, making it look nice afterwards. But for the time being, I think that should do it. We are going to have to do the redstone for this little elevator though. Clear a bit of room. I'm going to have to go for all of these chests because at the moment they're probably getting filled with some random garbage, like stone and stuff, where I've just been dropping stuff into the hoppers up above. That one's got a couple. That one's got a few. Nope. Nope. That one's got a bit of cobblestone. And that one's got a hopper. Yeah, I'll go through them afterwards and I'm sorting them all out. So with this one, this is just going to be our bog standard little, it's very, very tiny item elevator, but it just means that we can place our chests more conveniently. Let's get a comparator on the go. Going to need a tad bit more room. That should do us like that. Stone bricks, thank you. Say you can go there. Maybe 1, 2. Little one there. Break you. Get rid of you. And then we want a repeater, please. So repeater there. Repeater there. Is that right? I think so. Yeah, that should be right. And then just a bit of redstone dust. Kind of like that. Then that should then all kick up. But we're going to need a little bit of a redstone torch tower. Go in like so. Now, the only thing I'm worried about, obviously this is now just going to throw stuff wherever it wants to in the chest as it's cycling. But I just want to make sure that this little elevator is working and items don't end up getting stuck. That's the double click, which should mean that they're all empty and all the items are fed through fine. Beautiful, and then that will feed through to our main input chest, which the hoppers will then be dragging items out of as they circle, and then as they circle they end up putting the items inside the chests, but obviously we are going to have to be sorting the chests out. But we can take all of that stuff that has just gone in there now. I think that was it. Yeah, now if you're wondering how comes I've done a line of repeaters back here instead of just redstone dust, it does mean that it's obviously it's a little bit more expensive than just running redstone dust, but it slows the signal down going from left to right, which means it gives the hoppers more time to attempt to put the items into the chest. Because if it was going really quickly, you'd have to have around about, you've got to think about it, it will take this hopper here 30 turns before, is it 30 turns? It's 20, 21, 22, 23. It will be 26 movement places before it reaches the same chest again. So if it's only got enough time to put 1 or 2 items in, you're going to have at least around about 7 or 8 rotations if it's got like half a stack of an item in. But with the massive delay signal that we've got on it, it should be more than enough time to actually feed the items that it's picked up. But for the time being, we can actually switch that all off now. But yeah, I'm not sure how we're running on time at the moment, and I'm going to try my best not to have the episodes sort of drag on as long as they have been, because at the moment all of them are sort of clearing over like 30 to 40 minutes now. So I thought I'll just do this quick project here. Now obviously in between this episode and the next one, I am going to go and do the item frames on the front here. I'm going to tidy it all up, and I'm also going to go ahead and do all the place fillers for the chests for stuff that I haven't actually got at the moment, and then obviously organise my chests how it is that I actually want them. And then we are going to have another set of standard storage chests over here for such things as like saddles and music discs and armor and weapons which can't be sorted using a system like this. But yeah, for today I think that's going to be it. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully this is a new design that you've seen rather than one that is out there already and I've just been completely oblivious to. But I know for a fact that I've definitely not seen this done before, and I'm quite happy being able to do a full storage item sorter this early on in the game. And as you can see, for what is it, 20 double chests, it is not a lot of resources when it comes to iron and redstone. It is 21, 22, 20. It's 23 hoppers for the actual sorting system. Obviously, I've had to use more hoppers to do the extended sort of drop for our input chest, because I didn't want the input chest sitting all the way back there. So this is just a lot more convenient. So come in here, open this up, throw my items in, just leave it running, do other bits and pieces while it's doing its thing, and it will just go around and it will sort out all the items rather than me having to put stuff back individually in every single chest, which is extremely handy. But it does mean I'm going to have to take a bit of time to go and fill all of the places and all of the chests, and I'm going to have to figure out what we actually want to do with our current mini storage system that we got up there. What do you reckon we should do with that? I didn't even consider that, to be honest with you. Maybe we should just like put, because we've only got a line of furnaces there, we could put like a little miniature smelting system maybe here. Could be an idea before we get on to building any super smelters. But I'm going to take the time in between this episode and the next to get all the items moved and get that area looking nice. Hopefully, give me your input on what you think I should be doing with this. I still need to dig, oh, that was an accident. I still need to dig this out this way. I don't know what to do with this wall because it backs onto this area so far. So I'm thinking that I may just carry on the greenery going like up and around. Now with this ceiling bit, I obviously want to do the same that I've got with the ceiling, probably down here, where I've just got hidden glowstone in between sort of like the log framework. But yeah, I've got a lot of different bits and pieces that sort of need to be tidied up, and well, we're getting quite a bit of chicken actually kicking out from this thing. It's working pretty well. next episode, oh my god, it's night time. I'm fairly sure that I've tried to end this episode like 4 times now, and yeah, I'm still going. Yes, next episode I will hopefully be doing what I did initially have planned for this episode. Now, let me get my bow. Oh yeah, I managed to enchant 2 bows. The first bow I enchanted had this, which is Unbreaking 3, Power 3, Infinity 1, which is awesome because I haven't got a skelly farm, so I've not exactly got a lot of arrows. And Infinity works out extremely handy. And then the next bow that I enchanted, because I was down there for a good while, sort of while I was editing the last video and doing bits and pieces, I did get another Infinity bow with just Infinity on. Now we've got another working pickaxe, we've got a standard Silk Touch one, and Boss Roxy's online. Yay. Then we've got our sword, which I did manage every single time I was doing a pickaxe. I threw in the sword just to see if looting would come up. We've got looting 3 on there. Now that is purely being saved for Enderman hunting, for when we actually want to go and find the stronghold. But yeah, it's I've got quite a little, obviously not a lot of building work done, but as opposed for progress, doing the enchanting and getting our tools up to scratch, I think I've done pretty well. I'm happy with where I am at the moment with the amount of time I've been in the world, and I'm quite happy with having our new storage system sort of being placed where it is. Obviously, it's a little bit of a trek from the surface, but from here it means that we can then branch off in each direction without having to worry too much about clearing out massive areas. Like just down here we could just make like a little pathway coming along here. We've got this big open area here to work with, which I'm quite happy with, which I may introduce in our next episode, because I actually want to do a cow farm, which I've been meaning to actually do a tutorial for, but I just, after I learned that you can move hoppers using pistons, I got extremely carried away and extremely excited with the possibility of doing an auto sorting system, because I have no idea if Tango Tech's like fully automatic out sorting system works on Bedrock Edition or not. I've not tested it, but this one I understand how it works, and it's extremely simple how it works, so it's not hard to sort of problem find with it if you do manage to build it wrong in some way or another. Like, I've managed to build this completely in reverse to the way that I built it in my redstone test world, and the redstone's done quite differently, like quite a lot differently actually. Like, I had the off and on switch all the way over here on left hand side, I had my main input over here on the right hand side, and yeah, it's done completely backwards compared to how I built it initially. But the concept works and I'm quite happy with it. Now, this is the final time I'm going to attempt to end this episode. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully this is a new design that you haven't seen before and it inspires you to do the same in your world. And I will hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye bye.